Hey guys! It's hard to overestimate the importance of remote desktops. We also call them virtual private servers, where you can host your trading platform and finally turn off your overworked home PC. But it turns out that nowadays there are still a lot of traders who use their home computers for trading. It doesn't matter if it's automated trading, semi-automated, or manual trading. A home computer is typically used, which, unfortunately, has several significant drawbacks. These present huge disadvantages when compared to the robust and reliable virtual desktops that you can readily rent to ensure consistently stable internet access and truly uninterrupted operation. So, personally, I have come to fully realize that if I consistently use my own home computer for all my trading activities, if I install all my essential trading platforms there, if I meticulously set up all my expert advisors, along with various utilities that are designed to help me trade more effectively, and all my diverse trading software, then indeed, if I continue to use my home computer for trading, I inevitably end up experiencing some kind of frustrating failure almost every single week. For example, Windows forces an update and restarts my computer. As a result, the computer turns on, but my trading platform no longer starts up automatically. The power goes out and the computer shuts down. Or something else entirely happens, but without fail, every single week my computer system crashes unexpectedly and my active trading operations cease abruptly. Currently, I am utilizing more than 20 distinct platforms for all of my extensive trading activities. In this mode, it's simply impossible to manage without a remote desktop anymore. Imagine you only have one platform. With just one platform, you can still somehow manage to work on your home computer. But if you already have several trading platforms where you run trading bots, or you trade semi-automatically using various utilities, or you simply have an indicator that sends you trading signals and push notifications to your phone, then it's impossible to do without a remote desktop. So, guys, I calculated that if I install my trading platforms on a personal or home computer and it crashes even once a week, and sometimes it happens even more often, then the amount of my losses and missed profits due to my trading being interrupted and the platform shutting down exceeds the cost of renting a remote desktop. That's why I decided for myself a long time ago, you shouldn't try to save money on such important technical things. You need to rent a good remote desktop that will, first of all, be online 99.9% of the time. And this will ensure uninterrupted operation for me and my platforms. It will provide stable performance for my expert advisors and semi-automatic trading systems. Secondly, if I rent a good VPS, I reduce off-exchange risks that occur due to loss of connection. And if there are fewer off-exchange risks, my trading will be more effective. Guys, now that you understand the importance of remote desktops, I want to share a bit of my own experience with you so that you know which remote desktop is best to rent, how many virtual drives you need, how much RAM, and how many trading platforms you can install on one.
Virtual private server. Let's go to my computer now and I'll show you everything. So guys, you're now on my computer. Welcome. And I'm going to give you some useful information and share my experience, so to speak. First, I suggest you avoid using VPS from MQL5 because it's a very weak service that doesn't allow you to implement all your trading ideas. And most importantly, if you use semi-automatic or manual trading systems, it will be even worse. For automated trading systems, that is for expert advisors, it's more or less suitable. But it will be very expensive for you if you use several platforms. If you have one platform running a single expert advisor and it's trading on one asset, for example, gold or some currency pair, then in principle, this might still work for you. But if you're spreading your wings as a trader and want to do all this professionally, then this mainstream MQL5 service, this pop stuff, isn't for you. You need a good remote desktop. I chose Forex for myself, but you can choose other providers. This isn't an advertisement for Forex, so to speak. Honestly, I don't care which providers you use. The main thing is that it works stably and reliably for you. I'll show you using my provider as an example because overall, they're all pretty much the same. Look, even with this provider, I already have 5 VPSs. The data centers are located in Germany, and I've named them in my own way. Take a look, 5 VPSs, and on each one I use about 3 platforms. 3 trading platforms. So that's already 15 platforms here. Plus, on other services, I use more than 20 additional platforms. So just as an example, so you understand how this works, I select a VPS. I want to create a brand new one. You can certainly use ready-made plans, but the most important thing to remember is that I previously mentioned it should be specifically based on Windows. For Windows operating systems, the available plans will likely be a little more expensive than those currently listed here. We can now proceed to use the Comprehensive Configurator tool. This is all. Let me put it like this. Look, I have chosen 2 options. Nuclei? I took 2 gigabytes of RAM and the internal disk is 40 gigabytes. Why do I need 40 gigabytes? Because the Windows system itself takes up quite a lot of space, but overall, look, it comes out to 14 euros. But I have it set in euros. It's somewhere around $15. It's a pretty good price tag, I'll tell you that. We have one VPS on MQL5 that also costs 15, and it's difficult to manage, it sometimes crashes, and there are all sorts of migration issues. As for the remote desktop, it's much simpler, and we can rent it for a month or even for 12 months. There's no need to rent for long periods. We just take a Windows server. Here, the provider also gives us the option to choose whether it will be a 180-day trial and Windows license, which will be cheaper, or a regular VPS with a permanent license, which will be 26 euros. Why do we need that? It's better for us to just reinstall the VPS once every 180 days. That's half a year. That's no problem. We place the order. And what does the system ask us for? It offers us to pay using PayPal, cryptocurrency, or Visa. Or you can have an internal balance. So, in general, there are plenty of payment options. As for USD, that's 16.5, or euros. Okay, let's go back. Actually, I don't need to order a VPS. I'll just delete this. Order, okay. And that way, I could rent another VPS for myself. So guys, what's next? Let's say I've rented a VPS. The VPS provider sends me a login and password, also in my personal account, and in the account, you'll see the IP address, login and password. I take this information and use remote desktop connection. This is the standard client that comes with every Windows-based computer. If you're using macOS as your operating system, then for that particular system, to effectively connect to a remote desktop environment, there's a very special and specific plugin that is absolutely essential, which is commonly known as Windows App. However, I am currently demonstrating this process on my own personal computer, and since I have a Windows operating system installed, I am able to seamlessly connect to a Windows-based remote desktop. I will then proceed to carefully enter the precise IP address and subsequently. So, the computer is currently connected to the remote desktop, where I have a completely brand new system meticulously installed here, and there is also another distinct system present here as well, which is actively trading. Yes, I just have 3 separate and fully functional platforms operating on this single desktop setup here. Now, regarding the computing power that I use, I take a little bit with a margin. And look, for 3 distinct and separate platforms, I currently utilize 4 powerful processing cores, 4 generous gigabytes of RAM, and a reasonably fast 40 gigabyte solid-state drive. And this entire setup, with all its components, costs me a total of 23 euros per month, which is quite economical. Let me remind you, I have 5 desktops on this service alone. And next we have the control panel. I won't go into detail about how to use it now. I also chose a trial server. For 180 days, and after 180 days, I'll just reinstall these 3 platforms on a new server with a new IP address. It's not difficult, but it saves us almost, let's say, if I used a legal Windows license, it would be about $45 per month for 3 platforms. So, this is precisely how the entire system works. Take a good look. Right here I currently have. Here are all the robust and dedicated servers that I meticulously utilize to host my sophisticated and high-performance trading platforms. It is crucial for me to emphasize and remind you that my intricate and automated trading operations here run continuously, 24 hours a day. Operating around the clock without failures, without reboots, and stably. When a server has a scheduled reboot for maintenance, my VPS provider sends me a message saying, "Hey, we'll have a reboot over the weekend." They usually do it then. So log into your VPS and restart your platforms. I do that, and everything works without any issues. Now just imagine if all these platforms were loaded onto my personal computer, 3 platforms on each server, that's more than 20 platforms. Most likely, my computer wouldn't have enough power to handle all of them. It would lag terribly. I would have to buy a much more expensive computer. Let's say I spent $2,000 on a powerful computer that could run 20 platforms. Or maybe I'd even have to buy something even more powerful. And that still wouldn't free me from the risks, like my system updating, the computer rebooting, or a power outage causing a restart. Or something else could just happen. The computer could go into sleep mode, my system could crash, or maybe my wife or daughter could come over, get on the computer, and mess something up too. So why spend a ton of money if you can just take the money you would have spent on a powerful system and pay monthly instead, even if it's $100 or $200 a month, in my case with a huge number of these servers and platforms. But you save a lot and you ensure your own security. That's precisely why, if you truly desire stable and consistent trading operations, just go with a reliable VPS and everything will be perfectly fine and smooth. Yeah,